If I could talk to people about what makes them super uncomfortable, then I think I can talk to people about their insurance and be just fine. Like, you know what I mean? So that's kind
If
of
you
how I
can,
went about it.
if you can do that, you can do anything.
On today's episode, Courtney and I sit down with two rock star producers, Abe Hannigan and Waldis Portis, and we're going to be talking about what initially intrigued them to take a position in the insurance industry, more specifically, the agency they work with. They're going to be talking about the office culture, the winning environment that's been created, and what they love about working in an office like that. They're also going to be sharing the successes they're having right now, how they're having success, and also some struggles that they're currently overcoming. With that being said, let's start the show. Hey, welcome to the Insurance Buzz. We are your hosts, Michael and Courtney Weaver, and we are super pumped today to have two stud producers with us, Abe Hannigan and Waldis Portis. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having us, guys. How we doing over there? How are things on your end?
We are, number one, we're blessed, but we're just grateful for you two coming on because you guys are part of Weaver Sales Academy, and it's been a lot of fun to watch your journey the last few months and watch you crush it. Abe, I know that you're roughly a year and a half in. You're consistently crushing 40, 50 plus items a month. Waldis, congratulations. You're a year and a half in. You hit the Century Club, so 100 items in a month back in September, and you're consistently just producing. And so we wanted to bring you on because without a doubt, we get requests all the time to have producers and new agents on just to walk through what you're going through, the successes that you're having, maybe some of the struggles you're working through. And so just very grateful for you guys coming on today to the Buzz to share and help your peers.
So I want to
100%.
start with what attracted you both to this opportunity.
I love it. Waldis, you want to jump in or you want me to
Sure.
take point here?
Sure, I'll go. So, me, myself, it was always a little weird. Every time since I was a kid, my mom always told me, you should always do something related to sales or be a lawyer because you don't stay quiet. You always have an answer for everything. You know, same thing that parents tell their kids. So, lawyer didn't work out. So now I'm here. The second option.
So how did you land on insurance though?
So I used to work in a mechanic shop many years ago when I used to be in college, just as a part-time. And I came across, looking for another job on Indeed, an insurance company job. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't have problem talking to people. I'm not shy. And if you're not shy in sales, you can do good, especially if you build a good skills. And I applied. I did that. Didn't want the best. So I changed and got an opportunity working for somebody else, another company. And that's technically how I got it. I was like, if somebody else can do it, why can't I? Pretty much.
All right, and before we switch over to you, Abe, all this I want to know because you've worked with 3 insurance companies, so I'd be very curious on what stood out to the current agency because I know you really love working with them, and so I'd be really curious what initially attracted you to make the transition over to that agency, whether it was just the culture, the people, the benefits package, like what intrigued you to make the switch over?
So you guys are going to love this one.
This is a great story. I can vouch for this. This is a great story.
When I used to work in the other office, which is not also was another company, I used to, there was no leads, there was no nothing. So I would have to call 24/7, which it wasn't the best because I was working most of the book of business, but it wasn't a really good book of business. So one day I sat down, I was like, I got to do something else, something differently that actually works and gave me business. And I went on Google and I put insurance company near me and I called 40 different agencies asking them for business. I was like, hey, if I have somebody that doesn't work, I give them a quote, doesn't work out, I'll send it your way and you do the same. How does that sound? Some worked, some didn't work. And that's how I met Tom, which is the owner of this agency. I spoke with the manager and she liked me so much that she mentioned me to him. And then I got offered a job and now I'm here.
Let's go,
I would hire
Waldis.
you in a
Okay.
heartbeat too. Oh man.
All right. That is a really cool story.
Yeah, that's amazing.
All right. So you're a go-getter. You're a self-starter. I can appreciate that.
You're trying to find business, and you're like, let's work some opportunities.
Yeah.
Let's see who can
Referral
help each other
partners,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had me sitting there for 8 hours, and I was like, I just didn't want to be on my phone, so I was like, I have to do something to get some business, and that was the one thing that came to mind, and it did work at the end of the day. So I'm glad I actually did that.
That's cool. All right. Abe, what attracted you to
Yeah.
the insurance just industry in general?
Yeah, so this is actually it's a good question because it ties back to our director of sales, Haley, who I believe you've been well versed
Yeah.
in
Oh, yeah.
a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Haley is my girlfriend's oldest sister.
Okay.
My partner of 3 years, her oldest sister is Haley. So basically, I was living in Harlem at the time. I was working for the Yankees, running their merch warehouse, doing nothing to do with this. But I had done stand-up comedy for 7 years prior to joining for the Yankees. So basically, me and my partner were like passing ships in the night because if the Yankees are playing, I'm working, right? So I wouldn't get home till 2, 3 in the morning if it's a night game for the Yankees. She was working at a cafe at the time, so I'm faced with a real dilemma of, do I wake up my girlfriend at 2 in the morning and say, hey, I'm home, it's time to hang out? Or do I let her sleep and then I don't really have a relationship with my girlfriend?
Yeah.
So basically, her sister, Haley, had caught wind of this, and she said, like, come talk to this guy, Tom. Like, you might like what he's saying. He might like you and what you're saying and how you speak to people. Just hear him out. Took the train from Harlem to Bloomfield, New Jersey, came and checked it out. Here we are a year and a half later.
Okay. So did it better? Obviously, it was a better fit from an hour standpoint of being able to have a better relationship with your spouse and things like that. But there's a lot
100%.
of careers and jobs out there that would
Oh,
have
yeah.
more of that, just call it 9 to 5. And I
Yeah,
know
that sort of
you're-
structure.
Yeah, that structure. So what necessarily intrigued you about insurance, or maybe something Haley told you?
It
that
was the sales aspect of things that caught my eye. And it was the kind of being your own boss, being in control of your own income that really, really caught my attention. And then obviously, like, I had done stand-up in Manhattan from 17 until 22, 23. So that, doing 6 years of just talking to people on stage full-time, essentially, one kind of begets the other in a way. So it was like, if I could talk to people about what makes them super uncomfortable, then I think I can talk to people about their insurance and be just fine. Like, you know what I mean? So that's kind
If
of
you
how I
can-
went about it.
If you can do that, you can do anything.
So,
no kidding.
so it applied, it's applied logic.
This actually makes a lot of sense now because you are one of the ones that always volunteers to role play in front of everyone.
Oh, yeah.
First, try something new. And so I'm connecting the dots now, Abe. You have no fear, baby. You're
No.
like, I was a stand-up comedian.
I will heckle the shit out of you.
Listen.
Let's go.
Like,
Listen,
this is
100 eyeballs in a Zoom chat never bothered me.
This
Because
is
it never
good.
bothered me when I was looking at him eye to eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Wow. Okay.
Okay,
All right. You just opened up a whole different recruiting structure for so many people. All right.
I love
So
it.
both of you have had a ton of success. You're very much self-driven. You're looking for opportunity. You're looking for growth. I'd be curious, what would make you not want to be at an agency or not want to apply for a position? What are the things that you're like, red flag, I would never apply for that insurance office or agency?
I think that one really, it just comes down to the culture. The workplace culture and the vibe of the office and the people that you're around, because like if you're not around people that you can jive with and that you can bounce ideas off of, more importantly, it's not going to be a fully beneficial environment to what you're trying to do. Like, for example, me and Waldis, he's in my office all the time, I'm in his office all the time, and we're just trying stuff out, seeing what makes sense, what we think we could use, what might not be usable, and it's just trial and error. But if you don't have people around that you can't trial and error with, you're going to be out on your feet pretty quick, I would say.
Waldis, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I was going to say, well, if it's something related to sales, one thing, it has to be business structure. Like, now that I've been working here for a while, I have to know how your business works so I can know if my business is going to work inside your business. Because at the end of the day, I'm the CEO of my own desk. If I'm not making money, you're not making money. So business structure is definitely number one. When I was interviewing, before I came to this office, I had my little notebook, which actually my manager Haley, she's to this day, she still makes fun of me because I was walking around with a notepad, literally just writing everything everybody told me on their own office. And that would literally be number one, business instructor. You have to know how they work so you know if you can make it work there. And the second thing, I'm just going to piggyback to Abe's, is work culture, pretty much. If you have an environment where people are no good, you're not going to be good. If you do work in an environment where people are good and they, support each other, train each other, help each other with whatever you need, it's going to go good. Because at the end of the day, you got to think about it this way. Your coworkers, you see them more than your own family. So if you are in an environment that you don't like them, there's no point being there. So usually those are the two biggest things for me now is business structure and then coworkers.
So Waldis, with you, this is going to be kind of a piggyback on the question that Courtney asked, but it's going to be more of, so what is something in your agency, whether it's culture, something Haley does, something Tom does, that you look forward to, whether it's incentive, a bonus, motivation, helps establish the team culture? Like, what's something that you love about the office that you work with?
So I want to say mostly the people, to be honest. Not money, don't get me wrong, money is good. We all get treated good, bonuses. Obviously, the commission percentage is higher than most offices. But I want to say the people, because at the end of the day, you can be getting paid a lot of money, but you can still be miserable at your job. But at least here, I want to say people is good. I love Tom. I love Haley. Again, me and Abe, we always in each other's office. So I want to say people is good, and that's why I stuck around a little longer than, what usually most people do.
So do you guys do, just out of curiosity, do you guys do anything outside of the office as an office? Like, do you go out together?
Oh yeah. Last month. Last month of December, we were just golfing.
Yeah, we went to Top Golf. We did it was like an incentive for life insurance, actually. For anyone who had a submitted, held life insurance appointment, you basically, if the appointment stuck and it processed and everything, we were invited to Top Golf, and we had a great little outing at Top Golf, putting away, banging them off the back iron. It was awesome.
And before that, I want to say 2 to 3 months before, I wasn't able to actually attend, but the whole office actually had a beach party. They went to the beach, had some food. Yeah. So, Tom and Haley, they always come in with fun ideas like that to not just be co-workers, but again, be friends outside the office, that you just not stuck to each other 9 to 5 and not see each other again until the next day.
I like that.
Because there's 100% a difference between a team versus a team of individuals, if that makes any sense. Like, you know what I mean? You can conglomerate any amount of individuals you want and just see if it works. But if you get a team of people that jive with each other and work with each other, that's going to be the best case scenario, best of both worlds sort of thing.
Want each other to win.
So I'm going to ask you both this question. And Abe, I'm going to start with you. So you're talking a lot about team culture. I would be curious if you had to describe like characteristics that you see that are common themes with everyone on the team, what would they be?
Winning mentality is definitely number one. Everyone in this office, myself and Waldis obviously in no small part, but we all want to achieve more together. And it's not so much about, oh, man, this guy put up 3 items. Now I got to put up 4 to keep my spot. It's about, oh, man, he put up 3 items. Let's give him a pat on the back. That's awesome. That's good stuff. Now let's go put up 3 for ourselves. Like, you know what I mean? It's about lifting each other up and each one teach one, all that sort of stuff.
I don't know if you guys are fans of Planet of the Apes, but stronger together.
Stronger together, 100%.
That's what I thought when you said that. 100%. I'm like, man, it's so true. Waldis, anything stick out to you with the same question Courtney had asked Abe?
To be honest, if I have to say something, it's the same as Abe. We do have competition, but it's a friendly competition compared to any other job. It's not like, hey, Abe got a sale, now I got to get 2 because I'm better than him. If not, when one gets a sale, we all get on a Zoom chat and they're like, hey, Natalie's on the board, or Abe is on the board, or Haley's on the board. Congratulations. Who's next? And then the one that's next, hey, Abe is on the board, congratulations. And then, so on. So instead of having to compared to each other and have a battle, at the end of the day, we're all a team. So we support each other and we go that route. Well, at least here.
We win
Sounds
as an
like-
agency, we lose as an agency. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes. It sounds like there's a lot of celebration, and it
yeah.
sounds like there's a lot of fun. Am I correct in assuming that?
You're definitely correct,
Listen,
100%.
if we're not having fun, we're not doing our jobs. That's my
Yeah, what are we
opinion.
doing here? Yeah. Oh, okay. I love this. So you both have talked about like this winning mentality and this growth mindset. I'm curious, what is growth like for you? Like, how are you guys constantly investing in either your training, your development? What are you listening to? What are you focused on to make sure that you become an asset to the organization?
So I'm going to go first. I don't know you were going to
Yeah,
No,
go
you go,
Okay.
Baldus, go ahead.
So I was going to go first. So, and actually me and Abe, we did the same thing. When I was new, I actually got top one my second month. It was actually December. But I wanted more. So I'm always about growth. I'm a very competitive person in everything. Now, not in a mean way or not in a way that I'm going to say, hey, Abe got first, just an example, I hate him. But, you know, I like to be competitive in a friendly way, like I mentioned before. So I actually met this guy called Jeremy Minor. Some people know him, some people don't know him. And I love his stuff because I used to do most of the things he teach already. Not 100%, but some things here and there I used to. So I loved his way. And to be honest, I dedicated myself. Actually, me and Abe, we did his trainings 3 days a week, back to back, 2-3 hours. We watched multiple videos. We wrote scripts based on what he teach. And, you know, we just apply ourselves to actually studying what we do and get better. And, you know, literally next month, our numbers literally double after that. So I can say, you know, learning the skills is necessary. You can be friendly, you can have the right tonality, but if you don't know what to say when an objection comes in, you're going to lose a sale. So learning the skills is definitely something that we knew we had to do early on, and we work on that. Well, still working on that, of course.
That reminds me of back in the day. I invested with Grant Cardone back in the day, and he ran something. I don't know if it's similar to Jeremy Minor, but even though they have no insurance experience, they still teach certain techniques or characteristics about a conversation.
skills.
Yeah, sales skills, and that's what I did the same thing, Waldis. I just
Brian Tracy.
Brian Tracy back in the day, which you guys probably don't know Brian Tracy because he's super old now, but he wrote a book called Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy, and it was a book I listened to every single day on the way to work, way home from work, that just broke down like the psychological aspect of a buyer, how to talk to him, certain things like that. And then when I became an agent, the very first thing I invested in for myself and my team was Cardone University, which is fantastic information. But that's actually, so those guys I'm talking about now is kind of what gave me the motivation to actually go out and help others and create Weaver Sales Academy. But I agree with you 100%, Waldis. Like, you're talking about mastering your craft is what you're talking about. You're talking about doing the work to set yourself up for success. And hell yeah, man. I love that. I love that. Abe, how about you, buddy?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a great thought that jumps out to me. There's this book that I read not long ago, Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers, which is, I'm a fantastic fan of his. I'm a huge fan of his. But the concept that it takes your 10,000 hours to become a master at something is something that's always stuck in my head since I was a fan of the Beatles when I was a kid. So it's like, you know, you gotta put in your time. You gotta get 1% better every day. You gotta put in your 10,000 hours before you become that master that you want to become, you know. And that's the most important thing, I would say, is just you gotta buckle down. You gotta do the hard stuff. Like, I have a post-it on my computer that I'm looking at right now that says you're gonna have to take the stairs, which is something my dad told me when I was a kid, when I was pushing back on him being an obnoxious teenager. It was, at some point, Abe, the escalator's going to stop working. You're going to have to take the stairs.
Dude, yeah,
So-
there was a whole book written about that. I love
You
that
know?
he told you that when you were growing up.
Oh, that one stuck with me through everything. Even when I didn't want to hear it, that one stuck with me. So you're going to have to take the stairs at some point. Like,
It's like the conversation we just had with your dad this weekend. Adversity,
Oh,
grit,
yeah.
tenacity, like all those characteristics you have to learn as a kid. And it's like what we were talking about earlier. A harder now.
Hard choices now, easier life later. Like,
easier
it's
later.
Absolutely.
Just how
That's a
that
good
goes.
one.
AI. AI is not only the future, AI is now. And you don't have to be worried about AI replacing you or your job or your career, but you do have to be worried about your peers that utilize AI to get ahead of you. If you're interested in learning more about how AI can make you more efficient and effective in everything you do at the agency level, meaning saving you time, 12 to 15 hours a week, increasing agency performance by 18 to 22%, increasing retention of current customers on call-in to cancels of 34% of saved business. That's a retention increase of 34%. If you're interested at all in helping your agency understand how AI can help them get to the next level without devoting more time to get there, I would encourage you and I would invite you to join me on a free training I'm doing around AI and how you can use it as an agency owner to get back your time, to help your agency scale efficiently and effectively, to help you hit those big production numbers without having to dedicate more time or resources to them. Again, I'm covering all of this and more in this upcoming training. I would encourage and invite you to join me. Click the link below in the show notes, and I look forward to seeing you there.
All right, so let's talk about struggles a little bit. If you guys are in slump and you're struggling with something, how do you work through that?
So I think when I'm in a slump, my main thing is just staying true to myself and not trying to reinvent the wheel. That would be the main thing that I think about. Trust the process. The process is there. The process works. You've used it before and it's worked for you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's something else. You know what I mean? You got to look inside. You got to look deeper to see what the issue really is in the slump.
Mm-hmm. Waldis, what about you?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna put this as an example. This month I'm definitely in a slump. This is definitely my worst month ever in a year. So what I was trying to do at the beginning was the same as Abe said. It was trying different things because I wasn't doing good, which eventually came to even be worse than the normal thing. So I just went back to normal. Be positive. When we having a bad month, bad week, especially in sales, and then we have coworkers again, even if though we're friends, if one is doing really, really good and you're doing really, really bad, you're like, wow, something is definitely going on here. So that definitely affects you mentally. And then if you're negative, what's going to happen? You're not going to sell anything because the customer can definitely hear the negativity in your voice, or they know that you just want their money because, you're just trying to make that sale. Mm. So it's two things that you definitely want to avoid. So what I did myself, again, especially this month, I'm not really having the best month. Be positive and just do things the way that I know they work instead of trying to reinvent the wheel because I'm having a bad month.
Trust in your abilities.
Exactly.
100%.
Just work hard and do the same things that I always done, and things will come through pretty much.
So, okay, but let's actually, if you're open to talking about this real fast, because I know Haley's probably been working with you and things like that, has there been anything that you've been able to diagnose that has changed this month that has led to more of a struggle, whether it's lead volume, lead quality, maybe conversion rates lower? What does that look like right now? Because there's still 2 weeks left of the month. So
correct. Yes. Yeah, so for me, to be honest, I was actually on vacation on half December pretty much. So whatever I had, I closed it all because I wanted to go on vacation worry-free. And December was a fantastic month. I mean, I only worked 2 weeks out of the month and I made my goal a little over either way. But again, I came back January, I had nothing. And this month is a little quiet, to be honest. It's not as busy as it was maybe last year or the year before. But I'm guessing it's just, me trying to reinvent the wheel because I had a bad week the first week. And then I had to start from scratch instead of having at least one or two people. But definitely, it was me. Something in me changed that caused for this month to not be the best. But the good thing is that, I realized more or less what the problem could be. Maybe not following the script, maybe not really listening to the customer. And And so far, in the past week, last week, I'm actually having a good time now when it comes to sales. So again, I don't want to blame the leads when the real problem is me. The leads have always been the same.
Well, but you just said it. You had an empty funnel, so you emptied your funnel. Then you were gone for 2 weeks. You came back. So January is kind of a weird month, anyways, because you come back on a third or probably a Friday.
On the 5th.
Yeah.
I came back on the 5th.
Yeah. Okay, Monday. So, but here's the good thing, Waldis. So the 5th would have been the week that you had to rebuild your funnel. Last week, you probably started to maybe close some business, but you're still in the funnel building process. So here's the benefit, though, with January is you still have 2 full weeks left because we're recording this on the evening of the 19th after you got done working. So you still have 2 full weeks. So all this work you've been doing the last 2 weeks of filling your funnel, now your funnel's full. You'll start to see closes come out your funnel.
Over.
And quite frankly, depending on, you have a year and a half, but it's amazing what can happen in a short amount of time with insurance. And so just keep trusting the process, keep filling that funnel, obviously keep doing what you can to maximize conversations, get the deal done on the initial close, make sure your follow-up process is tight, but you can still not only hit goal, but achieve a higher than goal with 2 full weeks. You just said it. In December, you did it.
You already did.
In December, exactly. In 2 weeks, you more than exceeded goal. Why can't you do this in the last 2 weeks of January? Like, you already have proven to yourself you are more than capable of doing this.
It's on the table. It's totally on the table. You just got to go get
it.
I just wanted to do this the whole time. Let's just have like what's working, what's not working. Let's pump it up. I love it. Okay, Abe, I would love to hear if you have a struggle right now that you want to work through.
My struggle right now, I think, to Waldis's point, is being more of an active listener. If you are just talking to people for the sake of talking to people, granted, having good conversations, having quality conversations, but you're talking to people with a pointed edge, it's going to come off differently than it will if you're having an actual conversation A to B and hearing them and then responding to them. You know what I mean? Like, you can have your response preloaded and you can know what you want to say back, but is it what you should say, and is it what they want to hear? So that's where I think my struggles have been, is being less of a chatterbox and more of a listening box, if that makes any sense.
So I know we just did that exercise in the training last Tuesday that was meant to help with that active listening of understanding like household scenarios. Yeah. Was that helpful in helping increase that skill set? Okay.
Definitely. Those sorts of scenarios, like the live sort of throw out scenarios, those are helpful because it helps you know what sort of cues you want to hear and what sort of cues you should be looking for.
Yep. Because what you're talking
100%.
about right now is so important in your role, because that's how you maximize households. Like, if you're always concentrated on just an auto or just the auto renters or auto home, sure, that's great and you're getting closed business. But what happens when you start closing 3, 4, 5, 6 items per household versus the 1 to 2? Because it's the same amount of work no matter how you swing it. It's the same amount of work.
100%. So it's the same phone call.
Yeah, exactly right. The other question I would ask, and has the role play with Agency Coach AI helped you in any of this active
I love
listening?
it.
Okay.
I love the Agency AI because I just did one before we started this. I did which one did I do? Oh man. I just want the price. It was the guy who just wants the price. Okay. And they're so much fun because it's the training wheels are on. You know what I mean? Like, you can try stuff. You can see what works. You can see what doesn't work, and you're not spending it on a lead that is actually out there shopping. So it gives you that sort of dry run, if you will, prior to actually getting your feet wet with it.
Perfect. No, I didn't know
100%.
Because then the feedback obviously is help. I've had a lot of producers and agents give me positive feedback on the feedback it gives with helping. What made me think of this is the active listening skill.
Yeah.
Like maybe some opportunities you missed or dive in conversation. So that's anyways. I don't know where I was going with that. I was just more curious than anything.
No, I think that's fantastic.
The active listening is crucial. Because it's like, you want to maximize each household. You want to maximize each conversation that you're having. And the only way you can really do that is by tuning in. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I would love to hear your piece of advice to anyone that's listening right now that is either having massive success, they're in a slump, whatever it is. What's your piece of advice that you would give to a listener right now?
1% growth every day. That's something that's been instilled in me since I started here, August of 24. and it's something that's stuck ever since, is it's not about getting 100% better every single day. It's about getting that 1% growth in every day. So that way, in 100 days, you're 100% better than you were previous. I think it's just about focusing on the minutiae. You know what I mean? Like, I tunnel vision, for lack of a phrase.
Let's go.
That's perfect. I love it.
Waldis?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, and I forgot who actually said this, but to be great, you gotta do what it takes, pretty much. Is, for example, when let's say you want to have a six pack, you gotta go to the gym. Now, if you go one day, you're not gonna get it, do you? You have to go multiple times, multiple weeks, multiple months, maybe even a year, 2 years. So it's the same with sales and any other job. Especially with sales, you gotta train yourself to get the skills so you can master it. And then once you're the master, then you become great. So I would say, again, like Abe said, 1% better every day. It doesn't have to be 25, 50, just one. And eventually you will be one of the greatest, pretty much.
It's about whether you want either an excellent game, or do you want game excellence. You know what I mean? Like, that's what our guy Tom, our boss, he throws at us all the time is, do you want to have a good game, or do you want to be consistently good at the game? You know what I mean? And I think that's, circling back, that's the thing, is you gotta tunnel vision. The blinders have to be on. You have to know what you need to do and how you need to do it.
You guys are firing me up
I
right
know.
now.
I'm like,
'cause you
gosh,
are-
it's the end of the day, and I'm
'cause
ready to.
Here's the thing that both of you are talking about. It's number one, loving what you do, going all in, having the tunnel vision, 1% better, doing what it takes, putting in the work, but also continuously just sharpening the sword. Even the greatest, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, doesn't matter who you talk about that's been great at their craft. It's not like they become great and then they just stop. No, they're still the ones showing up at practice every day, earlier than everybody else, practicing the basics, the fundamentals, putting in the work, hiring the coaches because they want to take their game to the next freaking level. Like, there's always another level to the game, no matter how good you are. And that's exactly what you guys are talking about. And what you're actually talking about is owning your shit, like owning your career path, owning your desk, owning your office, becoming the CEO of your life. And I appreciate both of you for mentioning that and bringing it up, because that is critical to your success in life, in business, relationship with your spouse, kids. It doesn't matter. You're the one in charge of that. You are responsible. No one is going to come in and save you. So thank you both for coming on the Buzz, because you absolutely crushed today.
Oh, absolutely, guys.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
guys.
We're more than thrilled to be on here.
You're getting me all fired up, man. So, all right. Guys, thank you. For those of you who listened to the Buzz today, look, Waldis and Abe just dropped some nuggets. I hope you guys got as much out of this as I know Courtney and I did.
I have 2 pages of notes.
Yeah,
Love
appreciate your guys' time and attention as always. And Abe and Waldis, thank you so much for your time today, coming on the Buzz, because you just dropped some serious golden nuggets. So
It was fun.
Guys,
It was definitely
absolutely
fun.
Thrilled to be on here. Thank you for having us.
yeah, absolutely. So other than that, guys, thank you so much. Take care. Go out and make it great.